In order to fully realize the value and methods inside this book, you need to read it. I'll give a short summary of why and how you should. First of all, the title sounds a bit trite, and it doesn't tell the whole story. The book tells you outright that it expects you to have high school level reading comprehension. In fact, this level of reading is where most people stay at their whole lives, regardless of higher education. College education is terrible at increasing one's reading skills, and people get stuck reading at that high school level, a level that provides them information but not understanding. That is what this book is about, teaching you to read in a way that allows you to gain understanding. Now, the way in which the book uses the term understanding is very important, and it spends the first chapter divulging the difference between reading for information and reading for understanding. Here is a paragraph from page 6 that explains the difference. There is clearly no difficulty of an intellectual sort about gaining new information in the course of reading if the new facts are of the same sort as those you already know. A person who knows some of the facts of American history and understands them in a certain light can readily acquire by reading, in the first sense, more such facts and understand them in the same light. But suppose he is reading a history that seeks not merely to give him some more facts, but also to throw a new and perhaps more revealing light on all the facts he knows. Suppose there is greater understanding available here than he possessed before he started to read. If he can manage to acquire that greater understanding, he is reading in the second sense. He has indeed elevated himself by his activity. End quote. So, I won't divulge on the actual methods it recommends because this would give only a superficial picture of how it all works. But if I had to give a concise answer, it would be that in order to read for understanding, you must ask questions. The specific questions, how to modify them, and reading of multiple books, I will leave you to discover. So if reading for understanding is something that appeals to you, then I recommend reading this book. Now, one last thing. You might be wondering how you could read this book without yet knowing how it wants to be read. Now, hopefully I will clear your mind that the answer is not some esoteric exercise by reading a short passage that answers that question in a way one might intuit. This is from page 36. An important and helpful rule of reading that is generally overlooked. That rule is simply this. In tackling a difficult book for the first time, read it through, without ever stopping to look up or ponder the things you do not understand right away.